Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be sharing my top 10 all-time fragrances, my favorite perfumes. As you can probably see, have become quite a frag head in the last few years. Maybe 5 or so years ago, I started my fragrance journey, started trying to really learn which notes I love, which types of fragrances I particularly enjoy and that work really well for me, which houses I particularly enjoy, and I found niche fragrances and I've never looked back. And now I have this glorious collection full of fragrances and perfumes that I love, that are special, that are unique for all different reasons, something for every occasion, every season, every mood. And so today I'm going to be sharing my absolute all-time top 10 fragrances. All of these 10, if they were dropped, please no, if they were taken from me, I would repurchase them the very next day. I could not live without them. They are glorious. Without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so first up, coming in hot out the gate, I'm going to be talking about Bianco Latte. So this is one of my most recent perfume purchases, and it's an unexpected love for me. I purchased a decant of this initially because I just wasn't sure if it was going to be for me, because it's a gourmand fragrance. Typically, I love a warm spicy, I love an oriental fragrance, occasionally a fruity fragrance. Very rarely do I love gourmand fragrances, but this one piqued my interest and the sample I got put me off. I didn't enjoy it. It smelt odd, very medicinal, I think. I can't quite remember what it was that I didn't like about it, but it did not smell good. I didn't enjoy it. But then I kept hearing this same experience, that lots of people were finding that the decants of this perfume were not accurate to it, like maybe there was a bad batch of decants or something like that and it wasn't doing the fragrance justice. So I decided to go ahead and buy the full size and I fell in love. This is a traffic stopper, okay? The number of times people have stopped me to ask me what fragrance I'm wearing, it's a bomb. You can smell it, you know, yards away. I wear this when I take my daughter to her dance classes and several people there have commented they can smell me coming because the perfume is so amazing and it's so beautiful. Everybody wants to know what it is. A real compliment bomb. So beautiful. If you like caramel in your fragrances, this is the ultimate caramel. Burnt, sort of creme brulee, caramelly, warm, but not too much. Oh gosh, I just want to put it on right now. It is sweet, but it has a bit of musk to it to balance it out as well, so it's not sickly. Absolutely love this one. It's gorgeous year round. Next up, we're going for something much lighter, airier, perfect for summer if you want something that's not going to be too cloying. And if you like saffron, you will love Matiere's Crystal Saffron. This is the cleanest, most stunning saffron fragrance. One of the things I noticed when I got into my fragrance journey initially is that saffron is a big win for me. If I see saffron in a fragrance, chances are I will love that fragrance because saffron is right up there with my all-time favorite notes in perfume. So when I saw this one is like the ultimate saffron only fragrance, I had to grab it. And it's, if you don't like saffron, don't even attempt this, okay? Because this is pure saffron in a fragrance. There's really nothing else to it. It's just neat saffron as a scent. I love it so much. I'm obsessed with saffron, so of course I love it on its own, but it's also an excellent mixer for me with something maybe a bit warmer if I want to, you know, make it more of an evening fragrance and sweeten it up a bit, or, you know, just give it some body. It's very light and airy, which makes it perfect year round. It's not too much in summer, but it still works in winter. A little bit of sweetness to it. Very clean girl friendly. If you want to smell very clean and airy and fresh, this is beautiful. Such a gorgeous scent. Performance is amazing. By the way, the performance on all 10 of these will be outstanding because that's very important to me. My skin eats fragrance for breakfast. So if a fragrance is not super long wearing and has really decent projection and sillage, I'm not interested in it because you just will never smell it on me. I won't even smell it on me. I need amazing performance from my perfumes, otherwise my skin will just suck it all up and it will be gone. So all of these perform incredibly well, otherwise they would not be in my top 10. Next up, let's talk about an oldie but a goodie. We've got to mention Baccarat Rouge 540. So this, as you can probably see, we're down to the last dregs of this bottle. I will definitely buy another bottle of this. I don't want to buy the large bottle because I just prefer how this one looks. I know the bigger one is better value for money, but this one's just so much prettier this size, I think. So I will definitely repurchase this. I prefer this to the Extrait. Of course, this is a very famous fragrance with many attempts to copy it, but none just quite live up to the original, in my opinion. This, again, like Matiere's Crystal Saffron, has a big wallop of saffron. That is a big noticeable note in this scent. So if you don't like saffron, if it's not one for you, you won't like Baccarat Rouge. I find this so feminine, a little sweet, but again, like Crystal Saffron, it has that airy quality to it from the saffron, that beautiful light floral quality, very wearable, again, year round. It has that bit of sweetness, so it could get a little too much in summer if you're in a especially hot climate, or you're someone whose skin just projects like I wish mine did. It's a little warm, a little woodsy, a little spicy, but it's just delicious. The reason it's, I use it so often is because it just goes perfectly for so many occasions. There's not an occasion where this wouldn't work. Daytime, evening, date night, party, wedding. This would be my wedding fragrance, I'm pretty sure. If I was getting married tomorrow, this is the fragrance I would wear. It's an absolute heavenly delight on the nasal passages. Next up, let's talk about something quite different to the previous few. It's Stephane Humbert Lucas's God of Fire. Almost forgot the name of it now. For a start, the bottle, heavenly, absolutely gorgeous. This is quite different because it's like a fruity tropical fragrance, which I don't have a lot of fruity fragrances in my collection. I'm typically, like I said, I love vanilla, tobacco, I love saffron, amber, woodsy, warm spices. But this I had to try because there was so much, oh my goodness, there was so much talk about this that I had to give it a try. And the bottle was beautiful that I thought, so beautiful that I thought, if I don't love it, it'll make a beautiful ornament. So this is packed with fruits: mango, lemon, red berry, some ginger in the opening. We've got some white florals, some woods, some amber, and some musk. It's just stunning. Perfect summer or holiday fragrance without it sort of really relying on coconut, like so many tropical holiday summery fragrances do. It doesn't smell like sun cream either, which again, a lot of holiday tropical fragrances do. It's just gorgeous, musky, woodsy fruit. So beautiful. Sweet from the fruit, but not in a gourmand way and not in a sickly way. It's just stunning. Another one I get so many compliments on. It's so juicy, juicy, perfect spring, summer, holiday, absolutely gorgeous. This is one that I keep a permanent decant in my handbag of because, again, it's very inoffensive. Not everybody loves saffron as much as me. Not everybody loves gourmand fragrances or wants to be able to smell it in, close confines environment. God of Fire is beautiful, but it's not sort of cloying or too intense. It's a real crowd pleaser. Stunning bottle. I wish we could see how much I've used because this one has also got a very healthy dent in it, but I just can't show you. I think we're probably about halfway through this one. Next up, let's talk about BDK Parfums Par Ce Soir Extrait. So this is the Extrait version. Very important because they are different. The original versus the Extrait, they are different. Oh my God. This, a bit like God of Fire, is a fruitier fragrance than my typical preference is, but my God, it's so different and special. It has pear, ginger, mandarin, but it also has cacao, pod and black pepper in the opening. So it's so interesting to me and different, and it's not one that's super linear. You know, Crystal Saffron starts as saffron, middle is saffron, end is saffron. There's not really a journey. Whereas this fragrance, its opening is so different to how it dries down, and it's such an interesting journey. So you really get like a lot out of the fragrance as you go along. I've only discovered this year, and we've already got probably an eighth, let's say, of the way through it. It's one of my most reached for. It's perfect for summer months because it doesn't become too cloying. It's so beautiful but interesting. It doesn't smell like anything else to me. You get wafts of those sort of peachier and the quince in the middle. If you like a quince note, this is a stunning bit of quince in here. Absolutely beautiful, and you can really pick it out, you know, in the middle of the fragrance. But this also got this gorgeous cashmere and vanilla dry down that is very like comforting for a fruitier fragrance. So much to it, such a high quality perfume. It's not super loud and room filling, but you will get wafts of it all day long, and it will stay on your clothes forever. It's so beautiful. Again, another very beautiful bottle. For me, it sits perfectly between being different but being super wearable for every occasion. Next up, we have Versace's Gingembre Petillant. Now this is quite reminiscent of Baccarat Rouge. They're definitely in the same ballpark. If you like one, you will like the other. If you don't like one, you won't like the other. So hopefully that will help you decide if this might be for you. Imagine Baccarat Rouge with a wallop of caramel in it, and you have Gingembre Petillant. You know, it has a bit of sweetness, but it's quite airy, and you definitely get wafts. I guess it's the praline note in here. It definitely gives me some caramelly qualities to it, which again is one of my favorite sweeter notes. It's just such a high quality fragrance. It's so elegant to me, this fragrance. Light, airy, sophisticated with a little bit of sweetness. Very alluring if you're going on like a first date. This would be a perfect fragrance. Also a perfect wedding fragrance. I just never get bored, and probably one of the most stunning bottles I've ever seen, and so weighty. You definitely could defend yourself in the event of a break-in with this one. Next, another oldie for my collection, but such a flipping goodie. It's Initio's Oud for Greatness. This was for a very long time my signature scent. I'm not really someone who has one signature scent because I have so many fragrances I love that I can't just wear one all of the time, but it definitely was my signature for a while. Again, I wish I could show you where we are too. We're probably halfway, I'd say, with this fragrance, halfway through it. And this is an explosion. This is beast mode. So you only need a couple of sprays of this, and you are going to be room filling everywhere you go. You're going to be smelled before you're seen. So it's that kind of real beast mode performance, this perfume. So you only need a couple of sprays, and despite that, we're halfway through. That's how much I flipping love this scent. This kind of sits in the warm spicy category, and obviously it's Oud for Greatness. It does have oud in it, and I'm not someone who enjoys the oud that is like, you know, the barnyard oud. This is so wearable and crowd pleasing for an oud fragrance. It's so different yet so beautiful, and yes, you have the oud, but it's perfectly balanced with the other notes. You have saffron, of course, in here, some nutmeg, lavender, which again, usually I don't like lavender in my fragrances. It just dominates everything. In here, it's so beautifully balanced with everything else. It just works stunningly. The oud is in the middle, and then the base is patchouli and musk, which I think again stops the oud becoming too dominating. It's so beautiful. Everyone will comment on this fragrance because it smells so unique, like nothing else you've ever smelled, but so beautiful at the same time. For me, it's a perfect like get away from me fragrance. Do you know what I mean? If you were going out with your friends, clubbing, partying without your husband, but you wanted everyone to stay away from you that you don't know, wear this. Okay, people will be terrified. They'll be running for their lives. You know, one of my favorite fragrance content creators, Mila LeBlanc, she refers to fragrances as being like a bitch fragrance, you know, like a female dog fragrance. That's what this is. You're going to smell like that word. It's giving sexy power, but get away from me. That's how it smells. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody else. Next up, let's talk about something much more inviting, which is Parfums de Marly's Althaiir. Oh my, this was one of those that I did not expect to love. That's why I bought the small bottle, and I wish I had bought the larger bottle because we're already halfway through this. And again, this is one I haven't had that long. It's one of my all-time most used, most reached for fragrances. It's so flipping interesting. When I first got this, I sprayed it on my wrist, went about my day, and I just couldn't stop smelling my wrist. It changed and evolved so much. Again, it's not linear at all. It's got such an interesting journey where it starts off one way and you just feel it and smell it changing and moving the entire day into something else. It's so interesting. The notes in here also just don't do it justice. The opening, cinnamon, cardamom, orange blossom, bergamot, the middle, bourbon, vanilla and elemi, and then in the base, praline, musk and broxan guacwood, candied almond and tonka. So I think this was kind of like marketed as a gourmand fragrance, but to me it never becomes sort of too sweet and edible. It's a bit warm, spicy, but then it has a bit of citrus, and it kind of, you know, goes between the two, back and forth, whether it is more sort of sweet and edible or whether it's more floral, fruity, and it never goes one way or the other. It's a citrus, sweet, almost a little bit boozy, almost a little bit spicy combo. It's just incredible. It's so special and unique. And what I love so much about this one is if you want one fragrance to rule them all, it's this one. You can wear this daytime, evening, summer, winter, into the office, on date night, out partying. This is going to be perfect. It's never too overwhelming. It doesn't sort of fill this huge room with fragrances too overpowering for others. It gives you a little bubble around you, and you will get wafts of it yourself all day long. If someone comes quite close, gives you a hug or talks to you, they'll get a little waft of it as well, but it's not sort of obnoxious or overpowering, and it lasts forever. Really long wearing, but not too loud, and it's never too much. In summer, it doesn't get too sweet or sickly. In winter, it performs well enough by itself without needing a bit of heat to help it. It's so beautiful. It works so well year round. We're down to the final two, and they are two of my absolute all-time favourites. First up, Nihilo's Brompton Immortals. Suits you, sir. This is right up there with my most worn. Again, quite a new one to me, already down to here, probably an eighth of the way through a 100ml bottle. This is definitely one of my most worn, for sure. It's again one that's very appropriate regardless of the circumstances or the occasion. Definitely a warm, spicy, and it's got so many of like my favorite notes. In the opening, saffron and pink pepper. Absolutely love this combo for a little bit of punch, but a little bit of airiness. We then have rose, ylang-ylang, jasmine, lily in the heart, and then we have olibanum, Madagascan vanilla, patchouli and white musk in the dry down. So it's like a real meeting of all of my favorites. Definitely has that warm, spicy quality, but again, it also has that airy quality that we see in Gingembre Petillant, which again, you can tell that's just, I really love those airier fragrances, but with a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of warmth or spice in there. That's kind of become my favorite go-to fragrances. Again, very clean girl friendly with a little bit of interest, a little bit of depth, super wearable, perfect office or more other people around type of fragrance because it's inoffensive, it's light, it's not suffocating, it's not too sweet, it doesn't fill the room. It's, you know, a personal fragrance bubble around you, but really long wearing. Such a quality fragrance, so beautiful. Again, real crowd pleasing. I just don't think you could hate this. I don't know how you would. And finally, let's talk about my newest fragrance purchase and my current favourite, because she's new and shiny, so of course it's my current favourite and most worn. It's Nishane's 100 Silent Ways X. So this is the extract version. Again, quite different, but for one specific reason to the original 100 Silent Ways. If you know 100 Silent Ways but have not tried 100 Silent Ways X. The only difference is a huge dose of leather. So it's literally 100 Silent Ways with a big punch of leather. And I love a leather note in my fragrances. I tried decants samples of both the original and the X. For me, this was the instant winner because the leather just really makes it much more of a grown-up fragrance to me. 100 Silent Ways, the original, is for me, for my preferences, smells a bit young. It's probably a fragrance I would have loved in my 20s. I could really see me wearing that in my 20s and it being my absolute signature scent, holy grail fragrance. Now that bit of leather in there really makes it a more mature, grown-up fragrance, and I really feel that it's very professional. Again, this is like if I was going to a meeting and I want everyone in that room to want to be me or want to marry me. This is what I'm going to wear. Everyone's going to take me very seriously. They're going to watch every single slide in my presentation, regardless if it's got too many bullet points, regardless if there's any pictures or graphs. They're going to be glued to my every word because this fragrance smells like you know what you're talking about. Do you know what I mean? It smells powerful. It smells professional. It's light and airy enough and inoffensive enough, again, to wear in any environment. It's got incredible longevity, but not too loud, not filling and dominating a room, so you don't have to be careful. It's a leather jacket hug. If you envision yourself wearing a sort of slightly sweet floral fragrance with an amazing quality leather jacket, that's what this smells like. In the opening, we have peach, tuberose, and mandarin orange. The middle notes, we've got some florals, and then the base leather, vanilla, patchouli, and that is exactly what you get in the dry down. This beautiful leathery vanilla, it's so stunning, so unique. I can't stop wearing it, and when I have it on, I get little wafts of it all day long, and it's just irresistible to me. My husband loves it, my children love it. They all love when I wear this, and they'll say, oh, I love that perfume, mummy. My husband loves it. He could wear it as well. It's very unisex, as are all of the fragrances I've spoken about today. I'm not someone who believes fragrance has a gender. You just like what you like and wear whatever you want. That's how I feel. So I feel like any of these can be worn by absolutely anyone, but this is one that is neither leaning masculine or feminine. For me, it's perfectly down the middle. So there you have it. Those are my current top 10 favorite fragrances. Please, I beg you, let me know your current number one fragrance pick. What is your favorite? My current favorite is Nishane's 100 Silent Ways X. I'm non-stop wearing it, not only because it's new and shiny, so, you know, of course I want to wear it as much as possible, but because it just tickles my pickle all the right ways. But there you have it. I hope this was helpful, and if you were trying to narrow down your choices and think about maybe maybe dipping a first toe into the niche pool, the niche swimming pool of fragrances, hopefully this has helped you. This really is my favorite houses, my favorite fragrances, my favorite notes and style and types of fragrance is all in here to help you. You can't go wrong. My favorite houses, you know, Initio, Parfums de Marly, Nishane, they really, you can't go wrong. These fragrances are such high quality. So if you find something with the notes that work for you, then you're going to be golden. Incidentally, if you are starting off on your fragrance journey, I have already done a breakdown on how I learned about fragrances, how I narrowed down the notes that work for me, how I found perfumes to try, and how I just grew my knowledge in fragrance world so that I could pick fragrances and know what was going to work for me, because as you may well know, it's very hard to find niche fragrances to actually get your nose to without purchasing a bottle blindly. And now I've kind of honed my skills well enough that I can confidently purchase a bottle of fragrance and know I will love it and it will work for me without having to try a sample first. So if you want to know more about learning fragrance and notes and houses and all of that, I will link that video. It'll be up here somewhere and I'll put it in the description box for you as well. If you're beginning setting out on your fragrance journey, that has everything you need to know in that video. But thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video and I would love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.